Round 2 of MotoGP's triple header starts this weekend at the Sachsenring in Germany. And it's a track that is completely different to Mugello that we had last weekend, being a much twistier, tighter, smaller track that really benefits the more manoeuvrable bikes. So let's take a quick look into what might happen this weekend and all the rest at the German Grand Prix. The weather this weekend shows a possibility for a little bit of rain, a possible thunderstorm around the race time on Sunday, but I would say it's going to probably end up being dry running for most of the weekend. So that's good. We should hopefully get some good racing action in the dry around the Sachsenring circuit. Last year's pole position was taken by our current world champion, Pecco Bagnaia, who set a 1:19.931. The lap record is actually also held by Pecco Bagnaia, but is not his pole position time. It's a 1:19.765 that he must have set in FP3 or something like that. I can't remember, honestly. Behind him on the grid was Fabio Quartaro and Johann Zarco. Now, Pecco famously threw his bike down the road in the race last year, and that led to Fabio Quartararo having a pretty safe run to first place. He was followed by Zarco in second and Miller in third. So, some people to watch for this weekend. Well, there's obviously one name that jumps to the front of everyone's mind, I think, when you're talking about the Sachsenring in the modern MotoGP era, and that is Marc Marquez. He has got an amazing history around this circuit. Ever since 2013, his rookie season in MotoGP, he's won every year at the Sachsenring, aside from 2021, where he didn't compete, so he obviously couldn't win. Obviously, Marc is on a terrible Honda, but you never know what he could manage, and I wouldn't be surprised if he won this weekend. Another person to watch this weekend is last year's race winner, Fabio Quartararo, who, you know, he's on that Yamaha. It's not a good bike, but it is a circuit that should be better for the Yamaha, and that should mean that he can fight a little bit higher up the order, perhaps go for a podium, who knows. And so hopefully he can battle it out at the front a little bit and maybe get a bit of his mojo back this weekend. The third person that I'm going to point out as another one to watch, I know he's still injured, is Miguel Oliveira. In 2021, Miguel came second behind Marc Marquez, and, you know, that's a really good result. He was on the KTM at the time. The Aprilia last year did a pretty good job around the Sachsenring circuit. Maverick Vinales had a late mechanical failure, but both the Aprilias last year were running close to the podium positions. Maverick was actually on the podium at the time when his bike had a mechanical failure. And so, you know, possibly Miguel Oliveira got a podium in 2021 on a good bike that Aprilia seemed to work well at Sachsenring. He might be able to get a podium this weekend. Alright, into my predictions very quickly. I'm going to stick with the theme of Aprilia and say that Maverick Vinales will get a podium this weekend. He did well last year on the Aprilia, and so I think he'll be on the podium at some point this weekend. My second prediction is that Marc Marquez will take the feature race win. It's a bit of a bold one in some ways, but then also not. It's going to be an interesting one to see where Marc Marquez finishes this weekend, but I'm going to say he's going to take the race win. And finally, I'm going to have a bit of a hopeful prediction as my last one. I'm going to say that the people that are on the podium for the sprint race, none of them will be the same as the people on the podium for the feature race. It is probably a bit of an unrealistic prediction, but I keep my fingers crossed, and that will mean that we get some very interesting racing, and it would mean that lots of people are competing for the race win and the podium positions, so it'll be very good to see. Alright, so those were my predictions. That was a quick preview of this weekend's German Grand Prix. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Tell me your predictions in the comment section down below. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.